All right, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And Shalom to the rest of the elect out there. All right, I'm going to this article. The shit hit the fan plan.com article. I used the title from the title to my live because that's good enough title for it's a title for the article. This is another news update on that famine that's coming, another prophecy news update, and I'm getting into it right now. It's titled "An Unprecedented Wave of Brazen Gasoline Thefts That is Unlike Anything We Have Ever Seen Before." If we're seeing this much, and it was published like about 3 days ago, but just click on that article, if you want to read along. But yeah, in the picture it says arm, leg, and in both. If we are seeing this much criminal activity today, like arm for regular unleaded, leg for plus unleaded, and in both for super unleaded, showing you how high the prices are nowadays. If we're seeing this much criminal activity already, what will happen when the price of gasoline really spirals out of control? I've heard that gasoline thefts were happening around the nation, but I had no idea how bad things really were until I started looking into it. From coast to coast, gas stations are being targeted, and this is often being done by organized groups. In other cases, criminals are going to private homes and are actually drilling directly into gas tanks in order to steal gasoline. What we're witnessing is quite frightening and is yet another sign of how far our society has fallen. Let me start by discussing the incident in a state that isn't normally known for high crime. Hold on. According to CNN this week, at least 15 criminals worked together to steal almost 14 gallons of gas from a station in North Carolina. Nearly 400 gallons of gas were stolen from a North Carolina gas station. This week, CNN reported more than 15 cars pulled up and filled their tanks after business hours after someone used a special device allowing them to bypass the payment system. Over the course of about 45 minutes, 1,600 worth of gas was stolen from the Busy Bee grocery store and gas station in High Point, said owner Hardik Patel. This sort of organized activity reminds me of the shoplifting mobs that we have seen around the country in recent months. When the owner of the station was asked about this crime, he told CNN that he has never seen something like this. And, we're coming into times where a time like never before, right? So you got to watch out for titles like this, showing you, we're coming into historic times, right? We've never seen anything like it. I've been in business for hold on. No, let me continue. I've been in business for 15 years and owned other gas stations. So like it for that. I've never seen something like this. Patel told CNN it wasn't free. They were stealing. Sadly, this wasn't just an isolated incident. In fact, this sort of thing is now happening all over the nation. If you doubt this, just go to Google News and type in gasoline theft. Down in Texas, a group of very brazen thieves just stole of 1,000 gallons of diesel fuel from a station in Houston. The manager of a family-owned gas station in Houston, Texas, said thieves targeted the business steal diesel fuel on 4 days last week, stealing more than 1,000 gallons. The thefts allegedly occurred on consecutive days in which the national gas price repeatedly broke all-time highs, man. And I'm gonna get that scripture. You know, Jacob's trouble, right? Times that we're coming into, which is called a time like never before. Let me get it. Hold on. Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. It's even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. But you know that part, so that none is like it. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. You know, unlike never before, man. Historic. Historic. According to the station manager, a quote-unquote dark-colored van would literally sit directly over the underground storage containers and siphon off hundreds of gallons. And something else I want to, was it something else I get? Something else I want to get is, you know, the article mentioned how you, and then before you had, fuck, Slovakia. I wasn't trying to do that. Wasn't trying to do that. Hold on. You know, you had shoplifting mobs, and then you got this, and this is what it is right here, man. Sedition among men, because you know they're not giving a fuck, man. They're taking it and not giving a shit, and it's gonna get this bad. It's gonna get like as bad as it says in the scripture. Also, iniquity shall increase. Get that one. Or love of many shall wax cold. But let me get this right here. 2 Ezra 15:16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. It's going to get that bad. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And with them shoplifting mobs, you already see the invading one another part as well. But it's just going to get worse. You know, if they're doing this now, when it's like gas prices are high, but okay, they're not sky high yet, but they're fucking high. Imagine, you know, when it increases after, you say you have an escalation in the Russia-Ukraine war, you know, or you have, you know, Iran and Israel going at it. Iran and Israel going at it. When there's wars, especially in Northeast Africa and Southwest Asia, today known as the Middle East, when there's wars there, the gas prices tend to go up, and they're already going up. You know, with Biden banning Russian gas, went up more, all by design. Now you have Saudi Arabia, they finna drop the dollar, man, and go to the petro yuan, Chinese money. So what's that gonna do to the petrodollar? It's basically taking taking the foundation out of it, man. Because Saudi Arabia selling their oil in dollars and shit. That is what has kept the petrodollar up, because the dollar is no longer based on the gold standard. Them IOUs, you can only no longer get gold for them, but they still tell you that it's worth something. And then with what Nixon did, and he took it off, and then even though it was a process, Nixon completed it. And then what he had that deal with Saudi Arabia, that the U.S. would defend Saudi Arabia as long as, and Saudi interests, as long as Saudi Arabia sold their oil in dollars. So you had, that was the petrodollar. And now with Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia is like, nah, fuck that. They're looking at China like, said, I'm gonna fuck with y'all now. And so that's taking the foundation out of the petrodollar. What it's gonna do is gonna cause it to fall. And you're gonna have a crash. And when the money, that means the money is not going to be worth as much, right? The money is not going to be worth as much as it is today. You know, it's been inflating. The money isn't as worth as it was like 2 decades ago and shit. It's decreased in value. And that was actually the same thing that they did to the Roman currency, the denarius, showing this place is Rome all over again. And it's going out like Rome, but this time it's going to go out with a bang. But yeah, you know, yeah, because you know, countries got more advanced technology like nukes and shit, more advanced weaponry like nukes and shit. But yeah, you see it, you see it. That's what that's going to do, is going to cause an economic collapse, man. That's going to be like the last straw, basically. And then you're going to have scenarios like you had in Weimar Germany, where people were carrying fucking shopping carts full of German marks to pay for shit because that shit was fucking worthless. People were using it to basically, they were using it as fuel for fire and shit. You know, they was probably using it as toilet paper too, because they couldn't afford actual toilet paper. And so you're gonna have that with the dollar, but hey, much worse, man. And the people will not be able to handle it, because the majority of the people is not gonna be able to handle it. You know, they gonna lose it, you know? So you're gonna have that sedition among men. You're already having it kind of. You're already having it kind of, but it's gonna be a lot worse. People are gonna lose their shit. For there shall be sedition of men. That's gonna happen. And invading one another, they shall not regard the kings nor princes. They're not gonna care. The cops tell them, nah, don't do that, man. Oh, we imposing curfew because of the situation. They're not gonna give a fuck. They're gonna have to crack down. The cops is actually, well, they're actually gonna have to bring in the UN. The UN eventually, like, because not even the military, because oh, we got a war in the Middle East now too. So not even, we got another war over there now. So oh, we got a draft. We got a draft because there's several wars. We got a draft now because World War III is starting up. So not even the U.S. military. Besides, a lot of them, like a lot of them, are going to be willing to enforce those tyrannical laws and shit, but a lot of them is not as well, because they actually believe in that constitution or whatever, and also they got relatives. They don't want to like fire upon their own people. So, as well, that's going to be the issue with some of the cops as well, because it's going to come down to it, man. Eventually. Right now, it's not. Hold on. Oh. It's mainly you tribes getting shot down and shit. And shit is not how it is, but with the money being worthless, how they gonna pay the cops and shit too. And so, exactly, man. They're gonna bring in UN, Gurkha troops and shit, NATO troops, peacekeeping troops in here. They're gonna bring them in. Bring in the robots. They'll work for free. The robots. Bring them in as well. Bring them in. Bring them Gurkha troops, some UN Gurkha troops, and start mowing y'all down, man, because of that. Because they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. They're going to shut down these cities because of that. Crime is just going to increase more and more and more and more and more. The prices of shit is going to increase more and more and more and more and more. That'd be the main reason. But you're also a lot of these people took that venom, and that venom has shit in it, like that graphene oxide, and then you got the 5G being turned up, so you also got that going on, and them frequencies plus that graphene oxide in you is gonna fuck with you as well, and then you're already you're starving, you're hungry, you're starving, and starvation affects your mind. Is your body is eating at that brain tissue, so it affects your mind, and so it turns you more animalistic basically as well, and so you're gonna have more and more and more and more, like more crime and shit, man. We're 17 until they gotta shut down the city. They gotta set up checkpoints. They gotta set up checkpoints in the cities, curfews and shit, enforced by eventually UN troops and robots and all that. Just like Henry Kissinger spoke of back in 91 after the LA riots. Wouldn't it be better? Like today, there will be an outrage if UN troops were sent into LA to restore law and order, something like that, right? Tomorrow, the people will be grateful. Why? Because they've been conditioned. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Like you're not going to be able to because of checkpoints, and also because it's all hell breaking loose as well. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yeah, great is the pride of this place. It's all about pride. And so because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, getting ransacked and shit. And men shall be afraid. The Most High how is going to be like, basically, it's going to be like this. Since y'all want to be so proud to be like homosexuals, you want to be proud to be um sluts, y'all want to be proud to be all that, right? You know, whatever sinful lifestyle you into, death style really. Whatever death style you're into, you're proud of it. Okay, well, I'm gonna make you afraid now. Verse 19, I'm gonna humble you now. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You know, a man is not gonna have no pity upon his neighbor. You know, they're gonna be like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. It's either his life or mine, man. That's how they're gonna be out here. But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And how these Babylonians is, man, how you raised here in Babylon. So that's how most of them are gonna be. Can't go a day, man. Much less three. Much less three. Can't even go. Can't go long, man. Can't go long. I mean, some can do better, but definitely not no 3 days. Definitely not no 3 days, man. Like it's somewhere like someone brought it out that like all it takes is for 3 days of them stores being them store shelves being like empty and shit, and then cannibalism will start to set in. Because you're eventually gonna have that. I heard something about it somewhere. Yeah, couldn't find that, but when I looked that up, basically, I came across them talking about some called the Holodomor, where basically the government basically forced them into a famine and shit, basically because they're redistributing the land and shit. They caused the famine. They redistributing it away from them and shit. Then you had the Irish Great Hunger, which that was also, you know, that was orchestrated by the government. It was a siege. Come on, when you look into it, it was. But basically, yeah, you're gonna have that again. You're gonna have them doing that, you know, going. But from that shit right there, just them robbing you and shit for food to this as well, man. Lamentations. It happened to us before, and ain't no new thing under the sun, right? Lamentations 4. It goes into it, man. Showing you how serious it got back then, and it's gonna get even worse, right? Lamentations 4 and 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than that they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Yeah, your body eats itself, man. You eventually go crazy. Verse 10. The hands of the pitiful women have sought in their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. It was literally, one of moms eating their own kids and shit. It was moms eating their own kids out here. And hey man, that was when our people, when our women was less like they are today, man. When they knew they was Israelites and all that, they wasn't as bad off as they was today. That was back then. Even though they was still off, they wasn't as bad off as they are today, under Esau. Under Esau, the self-proclaimed so-called white man's influence, even worse. So today, with their materialistic mindset and shit, not giving a damn, like seeing their kid as a money maker and shit, off the system of the man and shit. Today, hey, that materialistic mindset, that would happen sooner. That would happen sooner. They eat their own kids and shit. They'll go from other people's food, from your food to other people's food, to go from like that, man, to like to your neighbor's food specifically, from the stores, yours to the stores, to the neighbors. That's how it's gonna go with these people. To the neighbors, to to the pets, to the pets. They people have pets. They gonna eat them. This shit's just gonna get worse. From the pets, that they're gonna eat their pets. They're gonna eat their dog, eat their cat, eat their whatever they have, man. They're gonna eat it. I won't care. To eventually to other people, to their kids, to shit, man. It's gonna get bad. They themselves get eaten. Even this. Shall eat the flesh of his own arm. Get this. Esdras, man. Something about it in Esdras. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. I think it's a different one. This is the one I'm thinking of. It's in book Second Ezra chapter 15. This also happened in, speaking of what's gonna happen to Asia, the Moabites and Ammonites and Jakes is scattered among them. But also no great famine is also gonna hit over here, man. Verse 58, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood for very hunger of bread, and thirst of water. Hey, it's gonna be a time like never before, man. Oh, let me get this. Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, they're not gonna be the same. It's already happening. And so it's just gonna get worse. Verse 21, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of this world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. But 2/3 is going to be through out here. And you can see it. Going further into this article right here, about these famines, they're seeing, which is prophesied as one sign of this famine. Wars and rumors of wars, which is eventually going to get worse. You have that famine is coming. Let me get this right here. Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. There you go. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Nation against nation, race wars, kingdom against kingdom, actual wars is shit. Even if you look at it, civil wars, because they become like two different countries. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. There you go. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. This is describing a famine that's developing, a shortage. And when gas prices rise, everything else rises too. Yeah, but let me get into this. Dale said a dark colored van was seen parked over the underground storage containers on the dates of March 8th to the 10th. March 8th to the 10th, days in which the national average price broke all-time records and siphoned 360 select gallons each day. They, quote unquote, they hit us like the days when we were paying like a real premium on the diesel fuel. Dail told the outlet. Together it was about 5,000. The thin veneer of civilization that we all take for granted on a daily basis. That illusion, bro. It is rapidly disappearing, man. Because that dollar gonna collapse, man. Eventually, man. Then it's gonna be like you ain't gonna be able to afford it. I hope that you are prepared for quote unquote the new normal. To me, incidents where criminals actually go to private homes and drill holes in gas tanks are even more chilling. Here's more and more example that just happened in Pennsylvania. Well, now they going to your crib doing that. Now they going into your crib, pulling up at your crib, and now they're gonna take your gas. A woman in Allentown, Pennsylvania, who did not want to be identified, said she and her neighbor were victims of a recent theft. She said someone drilled a hole right into her gas tank. Home security video captured the alleged thief walking around her car with the drill in a 5-gallon bucket. Previously, criminals were sifting gas to steal fuel, but newer vehicles now have an anti rollover valve, so thieves are not drilling right into the tank. They just drill right into the tank and get whatever they have, sifting it out. That's what be on the increase. A woman in Allentown. Okay. Previously, criminals would sift in gas to steal fuel. Okay, yeah, I already read that. You may have a difficult time believing this actually happening in the U.S. or America, but it is. In Atlanta, police said that one man was behind. Oh, let me get that. And suddenly shot at unsown places, and suddenly shall the unsown places be shall the sown places become unsown. Second Ezra 6, chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Yeah, man. The sown places. What did that article say? You may have a difficult time believing that this is actually happening in the United States of America, but it is. You know, sown places appearing unsown. That's another prophecy that's being fulfilled. You know, the prophecies of the end, man. Prophecies of the end. Verse 18, like, you know, verse 18, then it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. Verse 19, and I will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with the unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, you know, after, like at the end of our captivity. And inquisition, that meaning of that word is, just means make inquisition. Let me get it. It's a word. Inquisition, meaning a period of prolonged and intensive questioning or investigation. Inquisition. Inquisitive means, you could tell by that. Inquisitive means that you like want to know a lot, man. You inquisitive. So inquisition would go into something similar. So it'd be like that, you know, like an interrogation type shit, right? I will make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Verse 20, and when the world, hey, what are we doing right now, man? What are we doing right now, man? What are people doing right now, man? We, you know, searching the things of Esau out, man, but also and exposing them, but also so we make an inquisition of him, and we doing it on yeah, man. But who is the prophet speaking for? The Most High, Yahweh, man. And also, it goes into a lot, man. It goes into that, but it goes into, you know, 2/3. It goes into a lot, but basically it's like an interrogation. Verse 20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. God, the elect is gonna, the books is gonna be revealed to the elect. They shall see all together. You know, that world, you know, this world will by Esau is beginning to vanish away. So that's what you see going on. The books being revealed and unsealed. There's a scripture that says sealed to the end of time. Talking about, hold on, until the end of time. Something like that. Let me get exactly what it says. Daniel 2 and 12 and 9. And he said, go that way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the end of time. Yeah, man. Yeah, verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Okay, so there you go. No, these are the and back on Second Ezra chapter 6, the verses I was reading. These are these different signs, man. Verse 21, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices, the woman with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, premature, right? And they shall live and be raised up. And you having more of that, like children of a year old shall speak with their voices. Having that as well, more of it. Verse all signs, right? Verse 22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. That's what's going on. We didn't think it could happen in the US of America because it was sown, they were sown places. The US is one, like people think like they'll hear something about famine somewhere in some other country and they'll be like, damn, that sucks, but that's a good thing that it won't, that would never happen in America, right? Sown places. But what does the prophecy say? And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And what it's going to cause is this. I'm going to go into it further. I'm going to go read this verse, but then it's the next verse that I'm going to get. Verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall suddenly be afraid, which, could be that, okay, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid, which, it goes into this right here. So it's probably, when that, who knows, I'm not going to that right now. There's probably brothers that have gone into it. But let me get verse 24. At that time shall friends, that same time, right, where all this is happening, when all this is happening, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. Yeah, shall friends fight against another like enemies. Sedition among men, invading one another with swords in their hands. When that economic collapse eventually happens, and it's coming soon, when it happens, and you're going to see more of this, and it's just going to increase until the actual economic collapse. Then it's just going to like go up exponentially from there. It's just going to shoot up, and you're going to have people blaming each other for that. When it's the elites, we're going to have the people blame basically anyone who basically Republicans, anyone who thinks they Republicans, who thinks anyone who's not okay. You're gonna have different factions. Okay, you're gonna have the left leaning Edomites and Jakes. And then you're gonna have those that are right leaning and those that are seen to be right leaning as well. And you're gonna have them as well, and they're gonna fight each other, man. You're gonna have different race wars. You know, people are gonna blame Jake because you get our people are gonna get it from both sides because you're gonna have you had the media, you had the Biden administration shit. You had them put out, you had them say that basically put out this narrative that it's so-called black people, Latinos, and natives that's getting the basically basically catching that shit, man. Basically catching the case of the Crown Royal 1984 edition. And then you had high profile cases of Jake's so-called black men like Kyrie Irving refusing it, and then being demonized versus Aaron Rodgers, people like Aaron Rodgers getting allowed to basically getting a get out of jail pass and shit. Basically, they basically didn't give a fuck if he about him not taking the bite, you know. But Kyrie is a different story with him. And then you had so you got that going on as well. You had him kind of, and you had someone else. You had A. Wiggins mention that the reason why, man, and it kind of like goes into what we're saying, man. Well, I think it was either Kyrie. No, A. Wiggins said it was against his say it was against his religion. And then you had Kyrie, some about Kyrie Irving. Well, hold on, I can. Yeah. For the interruption, my browser crashed on me, Satan hindering. But yeah, you got he's you got these. Yeah, let me get that real quick. And get into what I was getting into. Second Thessalonians 2:9. Even him who is coming is nah, that's not what I'm trying to get. What the hell? It's like 1 Thessalonians 2:18. Wherefore we would have come unto you, even I, Paul, once and again, but Satan hindered us. That's what happened. Basically, they're saying that that oh yeah, this right here is what I wanted to get. That this is why, and ultimately it's gonna be blamed on us. Kyrie Irving recently started following and liking Instagram posts from who Esau calls a conspiracy theorist who claims that secret societies see they're trying to make them and us look crazy, are implanting are in are implanting the kill shot in the plot to connect so-called black people to a master computer for quote unquote a plan of Satan. Basically, it's a bunch of shit that they leaving out in this little you know summary about it. They're leaving out they're leaving out a lot, and it's a summary to make us look crazy. But basically, yeah, there's see what it is. It's to blame us eventually. So you're gonna get it. You have him, Kyrie Irving. You have Jonathan Isaac. He ain't trying to take it because he ain't trying to. You don't trust that devil, Fauci, and they want to connect him to Trump too, of course. And hey, don't want to take it. Rather have faith in who he calls God, which I believe. Hurry up. I believe he hold on. Could be mistaken though. But hold on. My bad, my bad. All right, so basically, yeah, I think he said that basically knows. I think he knows he's an Israelite, like, and he's made that known, but I'm not sure. But yeah, hold on. So I get my bad. At 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 40 seconds. 1:44. Kala Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakal Kadash. Alright, hold up. Signs. Alright, but let me go back to it. That article, right? You're gonna have different people blaming each other for it. Now I'm gonna get into the article. I was getting into that. You're gonna have them blaming us, and then you're gonna have them blaming Jake. You have them, these liberal Edomites, even these liberal Edomites as well. Then you're gonna blaming our people, and then you're gonna have these conservative Edomites that don't want to play friends with Jake and shit. Don't want to act like they're our friends. They're too proud. That they're gonna blame us, of course, because we also, which is which is shown by a statement by Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, way back, that was saying that it's more so-called black people getting the catching the case of that Crown Royal 84. It's more of them, and then more so-called black people and they're the ones who, I think it goes into, they're the ones who voted Democrat or some shit. But I think something that he said, like it goes along with what he said as well. And you see it, man. And then your tribes, Jakes, you're known to have voted for like the narrative is out. Even if not as much of us did as what they say did, the narrative is out, man. With Biden also saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And some of y'all actually took that advice and ran with it. You tribes, so-called black people, Latinos, and natives, are going to be blamed by Esau for actually, by these conservative Edomites as well. Y'all ones that voted that motherfucker in office. Shit. And now we got these restrictions. So both by them and by the liberal Edomites. So y'all be catching more cases of them. Y'all don't want to take the kill shot. Especially those that, especially really the elect. Really, it's going to be aimed at the elect. But, even your 2/3 Jakes is going to get it. You're not going to have no protection from it. I would say including you 2/3, especially you 2/3 that know you're Israelites, but you're still wicked. But hold on. Yeah, man. And they're eventually gonna blame people like us, man. You look at them, they're all gonna blame people like us. It's really aimed at the elect. It's all aimed at the elect. But the 2/3 the elect is gonna be delivered, and the 2/3 is gonna be hit by it. They're not gonna have that covering. They're not gonna have that covering. They're not gonna like it's Jacob's trouble. Really, it's for the 2/3. But let me continue, man. This is a sign of that coming, sign of Jacob's trouble. As the price of gasoline continues to go up, back on that shit hits the fan plan article. As the price of gasoline continues to go up, this will probably encourage even more theft, and it will also make it more costly for ordinary American families to heat their homes. Not too long ago, one of my readers sent me an email in which she detailed how much her heating costs have gone up since just in January. I received an oil delivery on Friday, March 7th. I got 150 gallons at 4.59 a gallon, and my ticket was $728. I got a delivery on January 12th for 161.5 gallons, and the price was $339, and my ticket was $548. So look how much it's gone up in '94. It's gone up like a lot. It's gonna go up more. This is nuts, but of course this is just the beginning of sorrows, right? Just the beginning of sorrows. We have entered a full-blown global energy crisis, And we're going to see things in the month ahead that are going to be absolutely unprecedented. Hunger is going to go up even more. That famine, right? Sadly, one survey just found that rising costs are already a significant source of stress for 87% of U.S. adults. According to the data compiled after the APA surveyed 3,012 U.S. adults between February 7th to 14th, 87% of respondents cited rising costs of everyday items, including gas and groceries, as a significant source of stress. Right there, that's a significant source of stress. And it's going to grow. It has been estimated that rising energy prices will cost the average American family an extra $2,000 this year alone. This is a lot of money, of which I had better use news for you, probably even more than that. I really do. But the factors that are causing this energy crisis are not going away anytime soon. And it's good news for us, bad news for Esau. The best and for 2/3. Actually, good news for us because it means the kingdom is closer. But the factors that are okay, the best we can hope for is a quick ceasefire. Ukraine is heating up. In the short term, that would definitely help. And then you got shit popping off in the so-called Middle East. Decades of incredibly bad decisions have brought us to this point, and the current crop of global leaders is about the worst we have ever seen. Bad. So anyone that is waiting for some sort of miraculous turnaround is going to be waiting for a very long time, man. Yeah, this place it's not going back to normal. No, actually, if you look at it, this place was never normal. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I hope this live was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakakadash. Also, like I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Agim out there spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the elect out there. Baba Ball. Abad La Adawamium, Abad La Gawayim, Bug Shabag Shabag, Abad La Ayab Yam Nawa Bag Shah, bring you soon, Yabashim Yashai Tawada Tawab Aman, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Stay strong. We're almost out of here. That's you two. That's you devils. That's you 2/3. That's you. I that you devils. That you heathens. That's you 2/3. Shalom. Stay strong. Yasharala forever. Hey, Shalom. Stay strong. Ababa Ball and Yasharala forever. No, actually, yeah, I'm gonna end it off like this. Shalom. Stay strong. Yasharala forever and Ababa Ball.